Hello everybody, and welcome to my new project. This is going to be for our process analysis discussion, the step-by-step on how to replace a car battery. It's going to be for English 99 class with instructor Nick Hart. So what we have here is one of my vehicles that apparently has a dead battery, and as luck would have it, we have to have an instructional video. Anytime you're working on a car, you want to make sure that you don't have anything that could snag on anything you're working on, especially rings. They could get pinched, you can get it caught on something, injure your hand really bad. In this case, we're going to be working with electricity, and even though the battery is going to be mostly dead, it's still going to have enough electricity in it. If you arc it over and complete a circuit on it on the positive cable, you're going to hurt yourself. These things are very dangerous. So the first thing you want to do is you want to locate the hood release lever. Normally it's going to be down here on the left hand side of the car, right down by where your feet are. And you hear the hood pop. Once the hood pops, you come up here. There's going to be a little lever underneath. It's just the safety catch. Keeps it from popping up going down the road. And here we go. This right here is the cover for the battery. You can tell by it's got a positive and a negative. Alright, and then the second thing we're going to do is just gain access to the battery. Most of the time these are just little clips to hold them in, so just a little gentle tug and it comes right off. And here we go. Now on batteries, they're really easy to read. You need to know what type of battery you have. And right here is a part number. This is going to be a 47, what they call a 47 series. And I have already purchased mine, which is right here. Same part number, new battery. Good to go. Okay, so the good thing about this project on this particular car is it's only going to take two tools. I have 1/4 inch drive ratchet with a 10mm socket on it, and then we have a 3/8. It's going to have a 13mm socket on it. What we're going to do here is we're going to look and see if we can find how this battery is attached. You just lift up this little access panel here. Again, we got some clips that hold everything in, and this is where the magic happens. So right here we've got the positive terminal, and on cars positive is always going to be red. This is very important to remember, especially when you're working with a battery. This is the negative terminal, or it's going to be the ground. This is the one you have to worry about. This is the terminal that all of the electricity flows through. This is also going to be the very first thing that you unhook. Once you unhook this terminal, you don't have to worry about getting electrocuted, but while you do it, you have to be very careful, because this thing, the tools that you use, everything around this is going to be kind of metal, especially like the hood strut right here. You don't want to touch this to this at any point. Sparks fly, people get hurt, it's a very bad time. Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm going to take my 10mm, and I'm going to put on this terminal end. These things aren't really clamped on very tight. They don't really need to be. They just need to be able to make contact. And there's no need to take the nut completely off, because all you should have to do is just pull it right off. And then we're going to go over here and do the same thing. We're going to take the negative cable off. And sometimes they just need a little bit more extra attention. Now the only other thing we're going to have to do here is this is called the battery hold down bolt, and its only job is to hold the battery in place. This is where our 13mm comes in place. And this is going to have to come all the way out. And again, it's not super tight. There's no reason to just go completely lumber elbow jack on these things. It is kind of hard to get down in there though. And it looks like it's out. And what I like to do is just set a towel here. This is where I put all my stuff. And try to remember to do this all the time so that I remember exactly where I put everything, because this is going to be very important later. Now we're going to come back here, and we have a fuse panel that's still kind of bolted down. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our 13 and we're going to disconnect this cable as well. Apparently holding a camera is very hard to do when you're working with hand tools. Just like that. Okay, so now that we've got all the cables loose, nothing else holding this battery in, this is really all you have to do. Pull it out, set it on the ground, and then we're going to put this one right back in its place where the other one was. Okay, now going back to the completed circuit thing, anytime you're working with electricity, you got to be very careful. Again, batteries are no exception, and this is going to be a little more juicier than the other one. So what we've got here is this is the positive terminal right here, and the negative, and notice that the negative has a cover on it. We're going to leave that on until we get ready to hook the battery cable up. Okay, I just set the battery back in. Everything went in just like it did when it came out. Another thing that you might want to do is double check the terminal ends. Now, a lot of times these things will get corroded, and you don't want that. This one actually looks really good. All the connections look really, really good. So we're going to start putting this stuff back together. And again, when working with these things, you have to be careful. And the first thing you always want to put back on is you want to put the positive terminal back on. You do this because, again, you don't want it to be grounded to the body. So what we're going to do is get this a little tight and snug. It doesn't have to be super tight. And we're going to reinstall the nuts. And we're going to take our battery hold down and put it right back in here. And we're going to tighten that back down as well. Okay, we got our hold down bolt put in. All of our nuts are tightened down. And now we can remove the cover on the terminal for the negative. And a little bit of spark there. Just let you know that it's got power. And give this a little snug down. Just like that. Double check. Oops. See, this is why we double check. That one wasn't tight. So I just got a little snug, double check everything again. And everything's nice and tight. Now we can close our fuse box back down. Everything should snap in